Impala Films presents Haunted, the audio drama. Season 2, Episode 2, Prom Night. Part 3 of 4. Written by Jamie Evans.
Everyone I spoke to said that Grace was the one who got everyone wearing the pink fashion bands.
For what reason, though?
Testing her limits, maybe?
Oh, that's spooky. So assuming Ruby is what's the word?
Telekinetic.
Right. And Grace is able to do this weird mind control thing. What are the odds that there just happen to be two girls with strange powers at the same school?
Very slim indeed, I'd imagine. Hopefully the principal can give us...
This is Principal Warwick speaking. I know some of you may have heard rumours that we're going to be cancelling prom this year. I just wanted to confirm that prom is still going to go ahead.
Why the sudden change of heart?
I don't know, but listen to his voice. Does that sound like a rational man to you?
Also, we're moving prom up a few days. Prom will now take place tomorrow night. That is all.
Do you think Grace got to him? Could she do that?
If she really did make an entire crowd of students herd a teacher into the path of a car, then I believe she can do anything. It's her. Look cool.
Look cool?
As in, don't look suspicious.
Oh my God, Grace, did you just convince Principal Warwick to put prom back on?
Of course, Becky. Obviously, I'm sad that Chelsea died, but we've all put too much effort into prom for it to be cancelled. Chelsea wouldn't have wanted that.
You are so right, Grace. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Neither of you can wear red. Understand?
Yes, Grace.
Of course, Grace.
Later, bitches!
Come on, let's ditch last period. I need to go dress shopping.
Why?
He's going to wear red.
Jesus Christ, she basically runs the school.
She's far too up herself. Come on, let's follow her.
Ah, Grace. I'm glad I caught you. Could you come inside, please?
Why?
I need to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
We need to hear what they're saying. Come on.
Well, that is certainly a lot better way of picking locks than fiddling around with hairpins.
Thanks.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it just took a bit of effort to snap the chains.
Do you need to rest?
No. Let's look around before we get caught.
Did you know that it had shut down?
No. I haven't been back here since the adoption. I didn't ever want to.
I'm sorry. You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say this place has been abandoned for a lot longer than 6 months.
It feels like it, doesn't it? None of this is triggering any memories for me. I don't feel anything.
Don't try and force it. Looks like they've managed to clean most things out. This is all useless, really. Mostly invoices for office supplies and...
What? What is it?
This invoice. It lists the parent company that owned Boltford Orphanage. Little Hopes Limited.
Little Hopes?
Carl, this is what he wanted me to find when he said Little Hope. It was a clue. It must be the same company that owned the orphanage I grew up in.
Another coincidence linking us.
What were they up to? There has to be more here.
I'll help you. Oh, I found a map of the building.
Let's have a look.
Kitchen, staff offices, might be some interesting information there. These look like the main bedrooms here. The rec room...
Look at this bit here.
Looks like it's almost its own separate building at the back, only connected to the main complex by that one corridor by the look of it.
Like it's its own separate wing of the place. Look at the annotation.
Project Indigo. What is Project Indigo?
I don't know, but we're going to find out.
What are you doing?
I want to know what Miss Marwood and Grace are talking about. Luckily, all the classrooms have these easy-moving tiles in the ceiling now.
Oh, you can't be serious.
I'll have to be careful, but it should hold my weight. Give me a little boost.
Be careful. Here.
Okay, I can move over Marwood's office. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go outside, see if I can hear through the window. I doubt the ceiling will take my weight somehow.
Okay. Just a little further.
You had words with Principal Warwick. Is that where I just saw you coming from?
You did. I just had a quick word with him to help him realise why cancelling prom was a foolish decision.
Prom is important to you, isn't it, Grace? I noticed you mentioned it in almost every previous session we've had.
It's the highlight of one's school career, don't you think?
Whilst I'm sure prom is certainly an exciting moment, do you not think that academic achievement should be the highlight of one's time in school?
You sound like Ruby Williamson.
Ah, yes. Ruby. You don't get on with her, do you?
Nobody gets on with her.
Nobody gets on with her because you say so. Isn't that right, Grace?
I've no idea what you mean, Miss Marwood.
I think you do. I think you're well aware of the effect you have on the other pupils. I think you enjoy it. Let me ask you something, if I may be blunt.
You may.
Won't winning the crown at prom be a hollow victory if you force everybody to vote for you?
I don't need to force them. Everybody in this school loves me. They worship the ground I walk on. You should see them, tripping over themselves to do as I say, to dress like me, to do things for me. Do you have any idea how many boys have thrown themselves at me for the chance to hold my hand at prom?
Except Jasper.
What did you say?
Jasper Collins. Pleasant young man. I have regular sessions with him. He's been part of your friendship group since you moved here, but he always preferred Chelsea, didn't he?
Shut up!
That's why Chelsea had to go. But then he still didn't ask you, did he? So you had to work your magic. All those boys to choose from, but you want the one who isn't interested. It's so textbook I could cry.
I don't like the way you're speaking to me. You should know to be a lot nicer to me.
Grace.
Shut up! I'll show you how powerful I really am. Take your pen. Take it and raise it to your left eye. On the count of 3, you're going to jam the pen into the socket and...
Are you quite done?
What? Why aren't you doing as I say?
Your pathetic parlour tricks won't work on me, girl.
This room. I recognise this room.
Really?
Yes. I've definitely been here before. Project Indigo. What is Project Indigo?
I've no idea. Annoyingly, none of these papers are actually helpful. All of the files relating to the actual children are gone, obviously. I assume when they vacated the premises, patient files were the first thing they thought of.
Patient files? James, it's an orphanage, not a hospital.
Oh no? Look through that window there. What does that look like to you?
It looks like a hospital room. Jesus, look at the restraints on the bed.
For the unruly children, this is an observation window.
What happened here?
I don't know, but I intend to find out. Is this what you wanted me to find, Carl? Is this what was going on at our orphanage? Were we part of Project Indigo?
There's nothing useful here. All the relevant paperwork has been taken. This is a waste of time.
You're right. We're not going to find patient notes. Just think for a minute. That's it. They've left behind plenty of paperwork, but nothing patient relevant, right?
Right.
But what about information that they wouldn't have thought was relevant, eh? What can we learn about that? Let's see. Aha.
That's labelled nutrition. What good is that going to do?
They thought to take the patient files when they left, but perhaps they didn't think to...
What is it?
A meal plan. It lists quantities of food given with each meal and how many need to be ordered, and the kitchen staff handily noted the names on each room.
There I am. Ruby Williamson. Why are the other names crossed through in red?
I could hazard a guess.
You don't think... They didn't... die, did they?
I don't know, but look at that. One more name isn't crossed out.
Grace Goodwin. Oh my god. I know her. She goes to my school. She is a bitch.
Both of you were here at the same orphanage. What are the chances you were both adopted in the same town?
I don't remember her being here, though, James. Why can't I remember?
Something they did to you, maybe?
They messed with my brain?
Hey, shh. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. I grew up in an orphanage very similar to this one. I think that they do something to our minds. If I'm honest, when I try and think back to my time there, it is so foggy and just out of reach. I thought it was all the booze or the trauma or something. But now I think it's something they did to us. But listen to me, Ruby, I promise you right now, I will get to the bottom of this and we will get justice. Do you understand?
What a rousing speech. I must say, I truly felt the call to justice. Didn't you, Ruby?
Carl, what are you doing here?
I didn't want to miss the look on your face when you started piecing this all together.
Why don't you do as I tell you?
Your little trick may be impressive when dealing with the dundering masses, but I'm afraid it isn't so effective on those with more strength of mind.
You know what I can do?
Of course I know what you can do. I've always known. After all, I'm the one who made sure you ended up here.
What?
Oh, don't be surprised you don't remember me. You wouldn't, after the number we did on you.
Miss Marwood?
Mother Marwood, if you don't mind. If you're going to remember, then you can start by calling me by my proper title.
Mother Marwood? The orphanage? You were there at the orphanage?
That's correct. We interacted quite a bit, Grace, over the years. Studying you, shaping you, and your magnificent power.
I've got to get this on tape.
You, Grace, were a part of a very special program we were running called Project Indigo.
Project Indigo?
That's right. I won't bore you with too many details. It's a very long and boring story, and quite frankly, you don't need to know.
Why are you telling me all of this?
I have run Project Indigo for a very long time. Decades, in fact. In that time, we've learned two things for certain. Indigo children always come in pairs. Something, fate, divine providence, or perhaps just laws of physics, always brings them together.
You're insane.
You believe you have the power to control people with your voice, but somehow what I'm saying is crazy. Just think about that for a moment.
What was the second thing? You said you learned something else. What was it?
The paired indigo children will always fight, and one must always kill the other. The truth is, when I arranged for you and Ruby to be placed in close proximity...
Ruby Williamson? She's one of your indigo children.
Yes, keep up, Grace. One child will always kill the other, determining which of that pair is the strongest. Our current batch of research left us with two children, yourself and Ruby Williamson. It was my intention to leave you two to figure it out for yourselves, but alas, there's been a complication, and now my timetable needs to move up.
Complication?
My associate has become aware that a dangerous man has his eyes on my research. He's trying to interfere, and so I too am having to step in.
I'm bored of your story, and I don't care about some fight between old people. Ruby Williamson is dirt, not even fit to step on.
And if that is your attitude, she will kill you.
Why don't you?
No. Why don't you shut up and listen? You have a tremendous power, Grace. I believe you can emerge victorious from this. But you need to focus on the bigger picture instead of this frankly pathetic need for everyone to love you.
I don't need them to love me. They just do.
Oh, please. This is textbook for an orphaned child.
Oh, I'm leaving. I don't want any part of your indigo bullshit, you crazy old bitch.
Perhaps I have chosen poorly.
James Hunter and Ruby Williamson have travelled to the orphanage. Do you think Carl Trevino will try to make contact?
I imagine he will.
Do you know what he's planning?
I can take a good guess. He was always ambitious, even as a child.
If James or Carl convince Ruby to side with them and she kills Grace...
She won't. Grace is powerful, but she's still only a child, easy to manipulate. Come with me. We have preparations to make.
Jesus Christ.
Stay behind me, Ruby.
Oh, come on, James. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I come in peace.
After what you did in Greenvale, I doubt that.
That business with the signal. James, really. Malcolm Halliday was going to build that machine. He was going to contact the other side, whether I helped him or not. Just so happened that it benefited me to help him. Things got a little out of control.
People died.
And you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. If you can't take the mess, stay out of the kitchen.
We're talking about human lives.
Yes, that always was a big sticking issue for the two of us, wasn't it?
Who is this guy?
A bad man.
Don't badmouth me to the young lady. After all, we're practically family.
What do you mean?
The same people who raised you, raised me, raised us. Poor James here is a bit on the slow side, still struggling to remember what we went through. Don't worry, he'll get there.
But you do remember?
Oh yes, I remember. I remember Project Indigo. I remember the tests and the terrible things they did to us. I remember Mother Marwood and that ghastly smirk she used to wear when we screamed and screamed.
Marwood.
Miss Marwood? Isabella Marwood?
The school counsellor.
Ah, she's actually here, is she? Should have known. She's never too far from one of her experiments.
I'm not an experiment.
Oh, but sweetie, you are. We all are. Every single child who ever passed through an orphanage owned by Little Hopes Limited is.
What? No. No. I don't remember.
I wish I had time to catch you up, James, but really, you ought to remember on your own. In the meantime, I'd like you to come with me, Ruby.
No.
Why?
No matter how much denial this old fool is in, Isabella Marwood's experiment is happening right now. That means you're in danger, Ruby. I want to help you. I want to make sure you survive.
How?
Don't listen to him, Ruby.
I want to hear what he's got to say.
2 indigo children were raised in this orphanage. You and...
Grace Goodwin.
That's right. Marwood raises the indigo children and then pits them against one another to see who is stronger.
Don't listen to him, Ruby. There's another way.
See that man standing in front of you, pleading with you not to listen to me. He's a good man. He means well, really he does. Always trying to be the pacifist, eh, James? But you know the sad truth of good men, don't you?
What?
They're weak.
That's where you've always been wrong, Carl. Goodness does not equate to weakness.
So you say. Yet you're still the one with no memories of what those monsters did to us. You're still the one at a clear disadvantage, and you're the one who couldn't protect your friend from the signal.
You leave her out of this.
Stay with James, Ruby, and you might find out what happened to you. You might defeat Grace, and you get to look down on your oppressors from a moral high ground. Come with me, and you will crush Grace, and you will savour the sweet taste of revenge against Mother Marwood and all those who helped her.
Ruby, please.
You're right. I'll come with you.
Ruby!
Don't follow us.
Nicely done. Come with me. Catch you later, James.
Carl, what have you done?
This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. You realise what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Children being weaponized.
Yeah, got it.
So the school counsellor is actually an evil mastermind involved in child experimentation, and now she and Carl Trevino are each backing a super-powered teenager who are going to go toe-to-toe in the ultimate smackdown?
Yes, it's insane. I agree, but it's happening. Unless we can find a way to stop it.
And you think the place to start with this is talking to Grace's parents?
Adoptive parents, yes.
Still no answer from James?
None, his phone's off. I don't like this.
Oh, hello.
Mrs. Goodwin, my name is Abigail Corbin and this is Dan Cowell. We're from the school and we're hoping to talk to you about your daughter.
My daughter?
Grace Goodwin.
Ah, yes. Grace. Such a nice girl. Pretty girl.
May we come in, Mrs. Goodwin?
Who are you?
Dan Cowell, Abigail Corbin, from the school.
School? Oh, I'm sorry. There's some sort of mistake. I don't go to school anymore.
No, it's about your daughter.
My daughter?
Grace.
Ah, yes. Grace. Such a nice girl. Pretty girl. Oh, the muffins are ready. Grace likes muffins.
Well, that scores a 10 out of 10 on the weirdness scale.
We should go in. Make sure she's all right.
Oh my God! Mrs. Goodwin, your hands!
What's that, dear?
Your hands, they're terribly burnt.
Abigail, look around. Mrs. Goodwin, how many muffins have you baked?
She likes muffins. She likes muffins.
Grace.
Oh, yes, Grace. Such a nice girl. Pretty girl.
Mrs. Goodwin, did Grace tell you to bake the cakes?
Grace said to bake the cakes. She said to follow the recipe exactly.
This book here?
She loves muffins.
Oh, God.
What?
I think she told her mum to start baking and never told her to stop.
So she's just been baking continuously? Is that how powerful Grace's spell is?
Such a nice girl. Pretty girl.
Oh, I think it's worse than that, Abs. I think we're looking at the result of having your mind constantly overwritten for 6 months. Look at her! Her head is Swiss cheese!
Grace doesn't like cheese. No cheese for Grace.
The recipe in the book. What does it say when the muffins are ready?
When properly risen and golden brown, remove from oven.
Nothing about oven gloves, so she didn't do it. She's following the book exactly, and when that runs out, she just starts all over again.
What are we saying here?
I don't think she's capable of thinking for herself. Grace has turned her into a living puppet.
Starring Jamie Evans as James Hunter, Isabella Barbieri as Abigail Corbin, and Luke Hunter as Dan Cowell. Also featuring Phoebe Elizabeth Royal, Tess Gustard, Tom McCarthy, Megan Rose Buxton, Eve Oliver, Edina Hadley, David Anthony Green, Shayla Tharp, and David Gardner as Carl Trevino. Haunted, the audio drama, is created by Jamie Evans, with all episodes produced and directed by Jamie Evans and Benton Hodges. Audio engineering by Benton Hodges and Jamie Evans. Haunted is a production of Impala Films and is recorded at Free Sprite Media Studios, with special thanks to Duncan Newham for equipment support. Opening and closing themes by James Crow. Thank you for listening to this audio presentation. Come back next week for the next exciting chapter of Haunted, the audio drama.